This is the perfect time of year to pull out those summer salad recipes, and today I'm sharing 3 of my favorites. Each of these are quick to make, they're simple, they're healthy, they're delicious, and they're perfect for barbecues, for cookouts, for picnics, or even if you want to add them to your weekend meal prep and enjoy them as a light lunch throughout the week. So I'm going to show you how to make my Greek-style quinoa and asparagus salad, my go-to Italian pasta salad, and my favorite Mediterranean chickpea salad that is absolutely addictive. But first, if we have not met, my name is Dani Spies. I am a health, eating psychology, and weight loss coach, and I am the creator of Clean and Delicious, where we make healthy eating easy, delicious, and doable. Thanks so much to LMNT for sponsoring this video. LMNT is a delicious electrolyte company who was specifically designed for people who want to focus on a less processed, more whole food approach to eating, like myself, and I'm going to share more on them in just a bit. Now, the first salad I find myself coming back to all summer long is this beautiful Greek-style quinoa asparagus salad. Now, I love quinoa for multiple reasons. It is technically a seed, but it cooks and eats like a grain, so most people just group it with the grains. It's naturally gluten-free, it's easy to digest, and it's a complete source of plant-based protein. It cooks up very quickly, and it has this light, fluffy texture and this like slight nutty flavor. It's so good. All you have to do is start by giving your quinoa a good rinse under some cold water. Then to cook it, it's just 1 part quinoa to 2 parts water or broth. So I'm gonna get 1 cup of quinoa into my pot. I'll add 2 cups of water, turn the heat up, bring everything to a boil. Then I'm gonna bring that heat back down, pop on a lid, and allow this to simmer for about 15 minutes, partially covered. Now, you're gonna know that your quinoa is ready because it's going to have absorbed all of that water, and it's gonna have this nice, light, fluffy texture. You're also gonna notice that there's this little white ring. This is the germ of the quinoa. It just means that the quinoa has popped and your quinoa is all set to go. I'm gonna set that aside, let it cool down a bit while we work on the asparagus. Now, you could steam the asparagus for this recipe, but I prefer the depth of flavor that you get when you roast the asparagus. So I'm just gonna trim off the tough, woodsy ends, and then I'm gonna lay it on a rimmed baking sheet, and we're gonna season it very simply. Just a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, roll that around to get the asparagus lightly coated with all of those seasonings, and then I'm gonna pop it into a 425-degree oven and let it cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the thickness or the thinness of your asparagus. You want it to be nice and tender, but not overcooked, right? You want it to still have a little bite to it. And then once it's cooled a bit, I'm just gonna cut this into 1-inch pieces. Then for my salad dressing, I'm gonna grab a spouted cup. You could also do this in a bowl or a mason jar. And I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 2 cloves of crushed garlic, and then a bit of sea salt and some black pepper. And then I'm just gonna whisk this all together. This is super simple, like most of my salad dressings, but they have so much flavor. Okay, now to bring this all together, I'm gonna get that cooled quinoa into a nice big bowl, and then I'm gonna add in the chopped up roasted asparagus along with 1 15-ounce can of drained and rinsed chickpeas. These are also known as garbanzo beans. And then I also have a 1/4 cup of thinly sliced scallions. These have a nice mild onion flavor and the lovely little crunch of texture. I'll drizzle the dressing right over the top, and then I'm gonna gently toss this all together. And then right before serving it, what I like to do is I add fresh crumbled feta cheese and then some fresh herbs. In this case, I'm using some fresh mint, and I promise you, specifically in the summer, using fresh herbs will elevate any type of dish that you're making. So I don't recommend skipping that step. This is a bright, beautiful, vibrant salad that's super easy to make. Each serving has 6 grams of fiber and 12 grams of protein. So if you pair that with some grilled chicken or fish or tofu, you can really round out the meal and have a beautiful summer dish ready to go. Okay, so I have 2 more summer salads that I am super excited to share, but first I'm gonna share more about today's sponsor, LMNT, because they have a brand new flavor. It's a limited edition that I am slightly obsessed with. It's called lemonade salt, and it is so good. It tastes just like a tall glass of lemonade without the added sugars or food dyes or any other weird ingredients. It is light, it's salty, it's tart, it's so good. Super refreshing, and I'm telling you, this tastes like summer in a glass. I mean, I love all of the flavors that Element offers, but this lemonade salt has quickly skyrocketed to a fast favorite, and that's for both me and my family. But allow me to just pull back for a moment for any of you who may not be familiar with Element. It is my absolute favorite electrolyte company that I lean on to help feel hydrated and energized throughout the day. I always add it to my water bottle when I'm heading to the gym, and I often sip it throughout the day. Not only do I feel great when I drink it, but it also helps me to drink my water as well. It contains a science-backed balance of sodium, potassium, and magnesium to help replace lost electrolytes, which is especially important as we head into the hotter days of the year. When we sweat, we lose both water and electrolytes. So replacing both of those is going to help you to feel your best and to feel really energized and hydrated. A lot of people don't realize it, but common signs of electrolyte imbalances include muscle cramps, headaches, fatigue, and sleeplessness. And I know I've said this before, but for myself, I notice a notable difference when I am adding the Element to my water versus just drinking plain water. It's like I can feel the hydration entering my cells. I know it sounds crazy, but if you try it, you're gonna see what I mean. And right now, Element is offering everybody in the Clean and Delicious community a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets for free with any Element order. So it's also a great way to try all of their flavors. So if I were you, I would purchase the lemonade salt and then get that free sample pack so you can try the other flavors as well. But that's just what I would do. So if you want to check them out, I have a link for you down in the description box below. You can find it right here. It's drinkelement.com/Danny Spies. That's www.drinklmnt.com/Danny Spies. Okay, so the second summer salad that I come back to all summer long is this simple Italian pasta salad. My family loves this recipe. The first thing I'm gonna do here is make my salad dressing, and for this recipe, I like to do it right in the bottom of a big bowl. This is the bowl that I'm using to make the salad. And I'm just gonna start with 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. It's a good time to use the good stuff. And 1/3 of a cup of red wine vinegar. Personally, when I make a vinaigrette, I love a 1-to-1 ratio. This just creates a very light, very bright dressing that uses a lot less oil than a traditional vinaigrette, which would be a 3-to-1 ratio. Then I'm gonna add 2 cloves of crushed garlic, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a teaspoon of dried Italian seasoning, and then I have a teaspoon of sea salt and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna whisk this all together, and then you're gonna see everything's gonna get added right to this bowl, starting with 1 pound of cooked pasta. Now I'm using a traditional fusilli pasta for this recipe, but you could really use any type of pasta that you love or that you have on hand. If you needed to make it gluten-free, you could choose a gluten-free option. If you wanted something more protein-rich, you could do a chickpea or a red lentil pasta. They would all work. Just make sure that you cook them according to the instructions on the package, and you want to cook them al dente. So don't get them really soft and mushy. Go for a nice al dente pasta that keeps a little bite to it. Also note that while I do let the pasta cool down a bit, it's still warm when I add it to the dressing, which is great because that allows the pasta to absorb all of the flavors from the salad dressing. So just a little side tip. Okay, next up I'm gonna add all of the beautiful vegetables, and I'm always trying to create a nice balance of color and flavor and texture. So I start with quartered artichoke hearts. These come right from a can. Then I have some Kalamata olives that I sliced in half. Next up, diced bell peppers. Now I'm using 2 bell peppers, and I love choosing 2 different colors. So I'm doing 1 yellow and 1 orange. Then I have some baby tomatoes that I've sliced in half. Some thinly sliced celery, which is nice and crunchy. And then some diced red onion. And again, fresh herbs. I'm going with some fresh chopped basil here to really pull out that summer flavor. I'm going to gently toss this all together, and this is going to create just the most beautiful, flavorful Italian pasta salad. And this would pair perfectly, again, with some grilled chicken, some grilled steak, some grilled fish. And if you wanted to make this for meal prep to enjoy for lunch, you could just add some protein right to this big bowl of salad before you put it into your individual containers, and you'll have a nice, light, well-balanced meal to enjoy for your summer lunch. Okay, my third and final must-make summer salad recipe is this Mediterranean chickpea salad. This one is super quick, it's super easy, and it's budget friendly. And I am telling you, every time I make this salad, somebody asks me for the recipe. So here's all you gotta do. So again, I'm gonna start with the salad dressing. This time I'm gonna make my dressing right in a mason jar, starting with a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and then a 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So again, I'm using that 1-to-1 ratio for the vinaigrette. Then I have a 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1 clove of crushed garlic, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna pop on the lid and just shake that really well. If you were doing this in a bowl or in a spouted cup, you could just whisk it with a fork or a whisk. Then I'm going to drain and rinse 2 15-ounce cans of garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas, and then I will transfer them into a nice big bowl. Now to this, I'm gonna add 1 chopped up cucumber, and I love using seedless English cucumbers for this recipe because they have a very thin skin and they're really crunchy, so I just love the texture that they bring. Then I've got a couple of diced bell peppers. Again, I like to use 2 different colors, but again, that's not mandatory, it's just pretty, so as always, use what you have. And then a 1/2 cup of Kalamata olives, which I've sliced in half. These have a really rich, buttery texture. So again, we're layering all of those flavors and textures throughout the salad. That is the key to a good salad. And then I'm gonna add a few ounces of fresh crumbled feta cheese, which FYI, I always try to buy in block form like I have here, because you're gonna notice that the flavor and the texture is superior to the pre-made crumbles. And then last but not least, I love to add some fresh avocado to this salad, but there are a couple things you want to keep in mind. Number one, you want an avocado that's like just ripe, but not super ripe, because if it's too ripe, it's not going to hold its shape in the salad. And number two, if you're not serving the salad right away, I would keep the avocado on the side and then chop it up and add it to the salad right before you're about to serve it. This way the avocado doesn't oxidize on you. And then, because we do like that elevated experience with our summer salads, we're adding some fresh herbs to this as well. I've got a combination of fresh chopped mint and fresh chopped basil. And then I'm just gonna grab that dressing, give it one last shake, drizzle it over the top, and then gently bring this all together. This is such a delightful salad. It's light, it's bright, it's easy to make, and again, it is a fantastic recipe to add to your meal prep, right? So you could either bring it along to a barbecue or a picnic, or just enjoy it as a light lunch throughout the week, or as a side dish to a light lunch throughout the week. So many options. Thanks again to Element for sponsoring this video. If you want to check them out, I have a link for you down in the description box below. And if you're looking for a delicious grilled chicken recipe that you could serve alongside with any of these salads, make sure that you check this video out next.